Hey traders, TG Watkins here. It is March 5th when I'm recording this. Hope you guys are doing well. This market still continues to be a little bit challenging, and interestingly enough, some news that came out today is that Trump was held off on some auto tariffs, so like think the big three, as far as one more month, okay? So the market has been moving down based on tariff news, and then especially with a couple days ago right here, he confirmed that more tariffs were going to be happening. They were going to be happening on Canada and Mexico yesterday, so we got that. And then he spoke and addressed Congress yesterday, and the market didn't really care too much, kind of went down a little bit, but you can see here by the end of the day it bounced. And so I feel like we're doing okay. We're kind of finding an area and a level that the market's okay with. And so yeah, it seems like the market is happy with any kind of good news that comes from tariffs, and basically holding off even a month on the big three auto manufacturers seems to be something, okay? Also, just from a technical standpoint, the market is getting pretty oversold. I'm still looking for a bounce. We've only had these kind of little bounces in through here. I'm looking for a bigger one that might last a few days, kind of up here. I don't know when that's going to be happening. I've got some ideas for what we're looking for tomorrow. I was kind of expecting this move up today, so that's nice. And now I'm going to see if we get just a little bit of a pullback and if we can actually get follow through on the upside for that. And if that'll take us up to, I don't know, I'm just kind of now looking at about 59.70 area, maybe to the daily 21, maybe close to the daily 50, something like that. Overall, this market still looks like it's a correction as opposed to maybe a top. We can't entirely confirm that yet, but some of the names that I'm looking at, like Uber and through here, these don't look that bad. They have pulled back, okay, but they've really just kind of pulled back to potential support, and they pulled back right at resistance. So I don't see anything too bad with that, and it'd be nice to see if these things actually hold and start moving up at some point, whenever the market is finally shaping up. We're also seeing the Bitcoin kind of finally turned around. Now, I like to look at BITX. We did take a trade on this yesterday because a couple things. If you guys remember, I put out that video over the weekend. If you guys want to look, it's the weekend review. And I said, hey, Bitcoin looks like it's at a point where it's getting a little bit oversold. It's kind of coming into some support and it could bounce. Now, it did bounce based on news with Trump kind of coming out there and talking about a Bitcoin strategic reserve. Fantastic. It's great, but we don't want to go buy the gap up like that. So when it came back down like this and then bounced a little bit, I thought let's give this a shot and see how this works. And so we bought it yesterday. We're up a few points today, so that's great. And then I'm looking around and I see things like MSTR bouncing nicely. Now, I know a lot of people were short on this at some point. That's great. You can see here it perfectly broke that trend line, took a nice little short trade down there. I wasn't doing that, but now you can see a nice little snap back. Okay, so this is what I consider the first move. Now we're going to see if some sort of pullbacks hold, or if this is really just a bounce and a downtrend. So that's why we don't really know anything yet. I'm not quite taking a trade on that. And then I also look at stuff like Airbnb. We know that a lot of names like this, they jumped up on earnings, and in a market like this, most people are going to take their cash and say thank you, because everything else is melting down. And so it makes fine sense that this thing came down like this. But now, like Uber, it is coming back into an uptrending daily 50. So I'm kind of looking at this as potentially holding support. It's still a little too early for me to confirm, but generally speaking, I feel like this is a pullback in an uptrend. And so I want to look at that longer term. And if we look at the higher time frames, it's had a hard time really getting going, but maybe this was kind of an indication or clue that something good was coming, because when they jump up like that much on earnings, I'm like, okay, maybe something's happening. And the fact that it's now back down here to support and actually doing a double bottom right there on the weekly, it's like maybe something's starting to turn around for Airbnb, and I want to know about that. Now, one of the nice trades that we're in, and I think this is looking really good, is LMND. So if you're looking through here, this basically doesn't care that the market's pulling back. It was already overbought here. It's been working its way down to support for a while. Then the market corrected, and it doesn't care. It's going sideways. This little dip was for earnings, and actually the good thing about this is it probably washed out some weak hands and it got bought right back up. So that to me looks pretty darn good. And the fact that it is now sitting right here on top of the hourly 50 with the Moxie indicator right there, looks pretty good to me. So I've given out a couple trades on this one, and now we are long on LMND, and so I think that's looking pretty nice. And so we want to continue and see if this is going to be working out for us. We're also looking at Tesla. Huge move to the downside. I've been looking for a couple bounces, and usually based on what I see is if I can kind of start finding an area where I think price is going to bounce, and whether I'm right or wrong about that moment, if it comes down and does one more little plunk down, that tends to be kind of a washout or stop run or something like that, and then they start to turn back up. So we are also in this one. I was like, yeah, I think this is going to be working out. I think that's finally the low. So I'm starting to see some clues out there that are telling me that the market might be finally at a low to where we can bounce. And I'm not crazy long on a whole bunch of things. We've got a couple stuff that's working, and I just want to see if we can kind of get a reprieve from the downside if the market starts to bounce from that. Hopefully it lasts for a few days, and we'll see if it takes any kind of news to really get things going. But overall, those are some of the close trades that I'm looking at to see what we can do about them and if we can start working with them. So it's been challenging to just be patient and wait for all this stuff to come back down. But eventually, whenever these things start moving up or the market finishes correcting, think about all these names that are now on sale. And names like Uber and Airbnb that were too high after earnings, but now they're back down to reasonable spots. So that's why I'm like, this actually could be a great thing. We need the market to have corrections like this before we can go higher. And so as long as you just don't get run over too much on when they do finally correct, generally speaking, these are good things, and we need the market to refresh like this. So let's see how it can survive the tariff things. That news is now basically in the past because everybody was looking for March 4th as far as the tariffs. They're here now, and a lot of times it's kind of a it's the opposite of buy the rumor, sell the news. Basically, we knew it was coming, so all the institutions had to reprice for it, and seems like now they've repriced. And so let's see if we can start kind of rebuilding. Okay. Hope you guys are doing well. Remember, we are always running a $7 trial for 30 days if you guys want to come in, and I'm going to be teaching all the ins and outs, doing a full-blown Moxie indicator class on April 5th. It's a Saturday. So I hope you guys start seeing some advertisements for that and tune in and sign up for it. So great. I'll see you guys at the next one. Take care. Hey, TG here with Simpler Trading. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like or comment below. Also, make sure to subscribe and click that notification bell so you can stay up to date with my market analysis. Or you can join my free newsletter with the link in the description. Good trading, and I'll see you at the next video.